That means unless you have serious medical issues, you will stay in the room, no one will be walking in the hallway. I want to submit to you that I know that we live in a time when everyone thinks that there's no absolute truth, but I'll say this to you. Education is discipline. It is. And just look at all those who are disciplined. They're the ones doing well. It is. Lest you don't know, because now we're living in a technological world, this is what we call, when you have the time, go watch the movie. We're living in a society where the nerds, revenge of the nerds have controlled everything in your lives and you don't even know. Let me give you as an example. You depend on your phone. Raise your hand right now and tell me Grader's telephone number. Mr. S, don't say that. Just raise your hand and tell me. I'm gonna give you, don't talk among each other. I want you just to sit and think. That's the first one. I'm getting somewhere there. I'm gonna call it, I want a freshman to stand up and tell me Grader's address. All right, good. One moment. Sophomores, tell me Grader's address. Yes, he is before, yes. Say it again. Mm-hmm. Zip. Very good. Very good, very good. Now, there's a reason I'm saying that. There's a reason I'm saying that. And I'll end in the next 10 minutes, I promise. Students, the nerds created the phones, the iPads, and what has happened is that all of these instruments are now called smart because they're controlling your lives while dumbing you down. And you don't even realize, I don't even know my mom's number except I go to my phone and press mom, call mom. Ah, good. What's your mom's number? Oh, sorry. That's a good one, that's a good one. He goes, my mom doesn't even have a phone. Mercy. Mercy. All right. So everybody's good? Cool.
Only pay for
Yes. Mr. McDonald. All right. So today I want to talk to you a little bit about something I think is very important. Next week, freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors, we're going to have final exams. Final exams normally become a distressor for students, as it was when I was going to school. Freshmen, you were talking. Giving you 22 seconds, because year 2022. Yeah. 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 All right. So good. Ready? When something is great, or when someone is great, they're difficult. When something is easy, it's not good, generally. So young men and young ladies, if it is a girl or a boy that comes easy, never good. I'm not asking you, I am telling you. Absolute truth. If it comes easy, it is never good. If it is difficult, if you have to work, then you realize you're chasing something that is not bronze but gold. They do look alike. I want to propose to you that because something is difficult doesn't mean it is impossible. Sir, the test is difficult. Could it be that you didn't dedicate yourself to studying and now all of a sudden you're having struggles? Because you don't have access to the smartphone or the smart iPad or the smart watch. It becomes, I understand, it becomes difficult. So I want to leave you with a couple of things today. And I tell you, I'll get out of your ear quickly. Ladies and gentlemen, I will never forget this. Most of you know last year that my dad died, that I worshiped. And I remember one time I went to high school. I'm saying it for about the millionth time. I went to high school for grades, parent-teacher conference. And I was full of myself, as most teenagers are. I was sitting in front of a teacher named Dr. Fulston. He was my favorite teacher. And he was my favorite teacher because this man taught without a book from his head. He was erudite. The guy was a walking encyclopedia. He was so good that there are times when he is sick, he would go in the back and make his own medication because he was also a pharmacist. That man was unbelievable. Now, understand one thing. Dr. Fulston, I want to show you where I'm going. Dr. Fulston was a British man. We used to say, Dr. Fulston, you can't drink a jelly coconut. Long, blue eyes, long nose. So here's a jelly, drink it. He'd laugh at us. He said, guys, don't worry. Let's get back to the program here. And Dr. Fulston, he gave us work. He is the first teacher in my life where he gave you the assignment from the beginning of the month and he was due at the end of the month. And he typed. So he never gave you notes to write. The most powerful thing about him is that he would say, what you did, is it great? I would say, well, it's kind of 90. He said, well, don't give it to me. Is that how you're going to live your life? But I want to share something with you. The last time I saw Dr. Fulston, I was sitting in front of him with my dad. I had a 99% in chemistry. And he said to my father, Jacque could improve. And I blurted out, this is 1985. I blurted out, but Doc, I'm ace in the class. And he looked at me and asked me, here's the question for you, young man. Because I know you're young and probably in the limbic system. He goes, suppose someone said to your dad or myself, you like me? I say, I do. He said, suppose the doctor told me that I had cancer, brain cancer. And he got out 99%. You'd be happy? He said, stop making excuses, man. Go make the 1%. What's wrong with the 1%? What's wrong with striving to perfection? Oh, you're good because you made a 93. Do you know we have students at Greater and all over New York that have excellent GPAs and they haven't learned a thing? They are grade-centric and learning phobic. Even sitting here. Oh, what does your A mean? Do you know what I saw last week? My wife showed it to me. A man went to Harvard to question Harvard students. He said, if you guys spell 5 words, I give you an iPhone 13. You know what was the first word? Fulfill. And 90% of them got it wrong. He goes, how you guys got into Harvard? They go, we applied. They say, well, some of you might have come here on not meritocracy. He said, listen, I'm giving it to you. You spell these 5 words, iPhone 13, because that's where you guys are at. I want to submit to you that aside from Dr. Fulston, there's a Jewish man by the name of Dr. Rosenbaum. The man came to our church, 1991. Now I'm dating myself, mercy. Guys, the man came to my church and told us we did not know how powerful our minds were. Because we, number one, he goes, you watch too much TV, you look at too much, listen. And I'm like, okay, this guy, yeah. You know what the guy did? At AY, at Jamaica Seventh Church in Queens. The man stood there and he said, I'm going to show you. The man stood in front of us for 4 hours and recited the entire book of Matthew, the 28 chapters. While we sat there, and when he reached chapter 14, he went outside just to refresh himself. And we all there sitting down can't recite two verses. It blew our minds. And he goes, you don't know. So here's what I'm going to ask. Kimora and Rohan, could you guys stand up? These 2 students are my top 2 AP young ladies. No pressure. No pressure. You can come and talk if you want. Guys, here's the deal. There are 2 cells in your bodies that after those cells have matured, they do not divide. They're at what we call G0. They stop dividing. What are those cells, Kamora? Could you say it louder? Muscle cells and brain cells. You see, God has a sense of humor. The moment your brain cells die, they die. God wants you to know that the only cells in your body, muscle cells and brain cells, in order for them to be enlarged, you must exercise them. So when Mr. S says, guys, come and let's work out, actually work, it builds your muscle cells. The larger they become, the fitter you become, and those muscle cells become massive. Brain and muscle. The only 2 cells that, and that's why by the time people hit Ronald Reagan, for example, he's the best actor, American president. By the time he hit 60, he was having Alzheimer's. No exercise of the muscle, the brain muscle. Today, I have 2 things to show you. And guys, it has a Jamaican tag, but don't worry about the Jamaican part. I want to show you that just because something is difficult doesn't mean, thank you ladies, doesn't mean it is impossible. So the first thing Mr. Meyer is going to show you is, I want you to know that for the 2nd time in world history, and a Caribbean island this year, Jamaica, has 3 entries in the Winter Olympics, and we have no snow in Jamaica. I want to show you, and we're going to, I'm talking about, one moment, don't talk. We're talking about mindset. Mr. Yabaz. Brethren. All right, so don't talk, just watch, and then I'll show you the other one.
Jamaica's first Olympic bobsled team in 1988 inspired a movie.
Go to Olympics, fight for Jamaica.
Cool Runnings captured the start of Jamaican bobsled, and this year a new group of athletes is hoping to carry on that legacy. For the first time in more than 2 decades, a 4-man bobsled team from Jamaica has qualified for the Olympics. When the Jamaican bobsled team made its Olympic debut at the Calgary Winter Games, they had a brutal crash. But their walk to the finish line charmed the world. Chris Stokes was part of that original team.
If John Candy were still with us as coach, what would he tell these guys?
You know, a gold medal is a wonderful thing, but if you're not good enough without it, you're not good enough with it.
The tropical country's warm weather climate does not make training for winter sports easy. Pilot Shanwayne Stevens, who serves in the UK Royal Air Force, once got a laugh from the Queen herself talking about his methods.
So how do you train?
During the lockdown, unfortunately, with all the gyms and everything closed, we had to sort of resort to unorthodox sort of training methods. So I've been pushing a car up and down the street. I've had to make a gym.
Well, I suppose that's one way to train.
In Beijing, Team Jamaica will make even more history, qualifying in the two-man bobsled and the new women's monobob event. And for the first time, Jamaica will have an Olympic alpine skier.
3 million people on this little dot in the Caribbean, and to see what we're doing, it's absolutely amazing.
Might there be a sequel to the movie? Who knows? But let's just hope in competition there are no sequel crashes. Right, guys?
All right, Carrie, thank you.
Two things. You know what he said? If you're not good without the gold, you'll not be good with it. We are always thinking end game and not the process. First thing, when Jamaica went the first time, they crashed. But they had the decency to walk on the ice to the end. And that reveled the world. Because for you, I want you to think about it. It is not that it is easy that you can do well. You have to tell yourself, it is difficult, but instead of the word impossible, break the word down in two massive words. Put I'm possible. I am possible. It is difficult, but not impossible. The last one I'm going to show you is this. And this is from my hometown, by the way. So there are these young ladies. For years, we've been saying in Jamaica, why is Jamaica doing so well in Olympics? And we live in water and don't send swimmers. This German woman said, listen, I come from Germany. She left Germany, went to Jamaica and built her house in Port Antonio. I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to train little girls from 4 to do synchronized swimming. This last year when Beyonce wanted to find swimmers, she goes, I couldn't find one in America. I had to go to Jamaica to find these synchronized swimmers. What I want to represent. Just by understanding, guys, that it is not that it is difficult. It's going to be difficult, but it's not impossible. I want you to see these young ladies for a little bit. I'm not going to show you them with Beyonce because that's not my goal. Well, black is king of foolishness. All right. Mr. McDonald, last one.
5:47 and the sun is about to rise, shining all its glory as it lightens up the sky. Oh, oh, oh.
Welcome to Portland for our winter show.
The waves singing Merry Christmas.
Hello, my name is Maureen Smith and I'm the Vice President for Artistic Swimming in Jamaica, what most persons would know as synchronized swimming. The sport has been here since 1998 thanks to Kathleen Sam, and since then our girls, our swimmers, have done tremendously well, not just here in Jamaica but on the world stage. We have had the opportunity to go to China, go to other Caribbean countries, and of course we are so excited that most times that we go, we medal. Now this is a great accomplishment for not just Jamaican swimmers but swimmers of color. We're very proud to say that we were featured in Grammy-nominated album by Beyonce, Black is King, in the Move Forever video. Because of that accomplishment, most persons now are aware of the sport, not just here, but all over the world. We want to thank everyone that has helped us to achieve everything that we have, especially the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sports. Thanks to all our corporate sponsors such as Useless Limited, and of course we can't do this without our coaches, our parents, our athletes, and of course friends of the sport. We pray that other persons will come on board and help us to achieve our dream of being in the World Championships and the Olympics. Can you imagine Jamaican colors to that stage? So, hope you enjoy what we have in store for you as we close out the year with the Winter Show.
This is the famous lagoon where most Jamaicans feel like it has no bottom, but is actually 52 meters deep. I come here very often to swim and spend time with my friends.
So the Blue Lagoon you saw there, it was at first stated to be bottomless. It was about 200 feet deep. I want to let you know that the Chinese are the most dominant in this sport. It used to be the Russians. And once the Chinese saw what the Jamaican girls were doing in rural Jamaica, they invited them to come to China. I want to say to you guys of this. This is a small school. And it's been small for a long time. But let me tell you something. If you are about excellence, you will be found. If you have a call to excellence, if you are everybody else, do you know, I know I'm going to say it, I take pride, I will tell you, these two young ladies you see there in my AP class, they have not missed school. They haven't. They have distinguished themselves as being about the business. Why? Because in order for you, Mr. Andres, in order for you to lead the orchestra, you must turn your back to the crowd. in order for you to be awesome, guys, the bell curve. This is the bell curve. D's, F's, massive curve, C's. Most people are C's. That's the bell curve. A is average. You see it go all the way out there. You see the A's at the end. Outliers. So I want to encourage you, as you begin this first semester, guys, stop complaining. Mr. S, perfect. Stop complaining. That's for the Israelites. Just be awesome. Miss Valter spoke to me, Mr. Patterson, one of greatest student, class of 2003, is now on Top Chef, level up. And last 2 times, Ruel, right? Ruel Vincent. The guy, the way he speaks, he goes, I went to Greater, and they don't know what that is. He goes, I went to Greater, and I went to Andrews. The man, last time I watched it, when I saw Ruel, you hear the way he speaks. He articulates. He said, no, man. One time he said, guys, today I'm cooking no meat. Just vegetarianism. And Chef Ramsey said, really? He said, yeah. And his was the best. Oh, Miss Elliott, I'm sorry. But I'm sorry. Guys, you don't know the history of this school. So let me tell you, and I want to let you know that this weekend, guys, I want you to spend time and do an introspective look. Am I the best I can be? Am I promoting greatest excellence and leadership? Guys, do you understand? This year, I invited to speak at graduation Miss Roseanne Thornhill. Cardiothoracic surgeon. Has never been to another Adventist school in her entire life. What's wrong with you? Cardiothoracic surgeon. She was valedictorian at Flatbush School, valedictorian at Greater, summa cum laude at Andrews, and Loma Linda. I said, Roseanne, I want you to speak. Well, I also invited her because, you know, we have had many men speakers who want a girl to come and, you know, kind of do the thing. And she said, Mr. Patterson, she said, Mr. P, I'm going to put in my time right now. She lives in California. Do you know, students, that little beacon of light here, where teachers actually care. Every evening, Miss Molly has tutoring. To the point of some of you, you'll miss it when she's not here, you know? And when you're gone, man, Miss Molly. Guys, do you know that Grading Academy, I'm going to leave you with this one. Grading Academy, 120 students, is the only school I know in New York, even in Queens, where our kids don't even have to test to go to calculus at Queens College. Do you know? Yeah. Do you know? Mr. Stevens. Make sure. Or second. Check. Yeah. I kind of missed my thought. Do you know that in this little school, we have a student who went to the university? Miss Molly took him to the school, and Miss Molly said, this guy is smart. This guy is brilliant. And the man said to him, young man, I'm going to give you a test to see how good you are in math at Queens College. Freshman, you don't know about it. Sophomore, some of you might know. Guess what? Our student completed, because I want you to hear me clearly. I was like, oh, I'm muffling. Our student completed a 3-hour exam in how many minutes, Ms. Molly? 25 minutes. And then the man said to him, you could go home. He said, no, I want to do it now. And the guy goes, I don't even need to see anymore. He's going to calculus from Algebra 2. And after that, If Miss Molly calls the professor and asks him, we have 4 kids, he said, just bring them all away. Don't even test them. This year, we have 5 students? 4. Hope Jaden not holding his hand because he's over there. Jaden, wake up, boss. Respect. There's a reason I showed you all of that. Well, they look like you. Because some people are into that. I'm not into that. I don't care how you look. I don't care if you're black, you're white, you're pink, you're yellow, as long as you're phenomenal. So I'm going to tell you something. You're going to be phenomenal or be forgotten. That's it. I want you guys that when people see you and hear you, they know they're in the presence of greatness. It's not anybody on the street. Students, the way you conduct yourselves at the business around here, they know those kids are special. The way you talk to each other, they know those kids are special. And let me tell you something. One kid from Grader has left that science room, one that I know of, that went to the world's best engineering school. One student I know in my 27 years. Because when he came to Grader, he turned his back to the crowd. And by the way, very social. You know who I'm talking about, Miss Elliott? Patrick. Stop it. You know what he did? First day, he said, Mr. Patterson, I am going to be the first kid from Grader who goes to MIT. First day. I said, Patrick, you're going to need additional classes. He said, man, you know what it is? Additional classes will be done. His sophomore year, he was staying here with me until 7 o'clock to do AP Bio, because we didn't offer it. The man got into MIT. When he got in there, they told him, one day he didn't go to school on Sabbath. They said to him, brother, where were you? He said, no, I went to church. They told him, you cannot graduate from MIT and not being at school 7 days a week. He said, well, guess what? He said, the God that I serve, you will see. So he didn't bow. Patrick never went to study on, some of you study for Bible class on Sabbath. Religion class. I said, well, you know, it's the Bible. Huh. And graduated on time. Students, wake that sister up there for me. Is she feeling okay? Wake up for me there. I wanted to hear this. Guys, Brother Curtain, touch him for me there. The devil's father, Brother Curtain, right there, son. Right, yes, wake up. Students, the largest brokerage firm in the world, Goldman Sachs, the world's largest brokerage firm, employed him out of MIT before he graduated as their software designer. Don't tell me. I've seen it, students. Are you, well, this is not an altar call, but are you going to be the one today? Are you going to sit here and decide today? And guys, I have to tell you this before I sit. There are some people that you have to get rid of this year from your life. Even your frenemies. Even those you think are friends on whatever platform you use, because they're not friends. They don't even care about you, but you think, oh, I have 1,000. People care about you. You get all twisted about the wrong thing. I don't want you to major in the minors. Guys, this is the deal. They say between 0, this is from my Jewish professor now, I love Dr. Feinstein. He said, between 0 and 30, you learn. Between 30 and 60, you earn. And then he did after that. Oh, sorry. No, you live. You always live it. I'm sorry. All right. So I want you guys to see probably Mr. Stevens. Miss Ellis is going to be upset, but you found it? You didn't, right? Miss Elliott, don't go. We won't show it. We won't show it. All right, good. Guys, you found it? By the way, he won the first one. He plays first episode all the way to the end. The first episode. Miss Elliott, that's on YouTube. Mr. Stevens, it says episode 1. Level up. Guys, I'm going to show you one clip and then you're out. And remember, while you're getting lunch, you can get your permit, right? And guys, remember, this is much love, you know. This is much love. All right, give me 1 minute. I'll show you Ruel. By the way, when he was a grader, he was a tall, skinny kid, Mr. S. But that brother put on weight and decided to go work out too. So, I don't know, you know. It's episode 1. And by the way, guys, which is very important, there are Mrs. Ruel is Trinidadian. Ruel is Trinidadian. And you know what happened? On the first episode, he got the worst kitchen. And you have an excellent kitchen at the top, middle. He got the worst. He said, man, this is what we kind of know to do in the Caribbean. And he won. You found it, Mr. Stevens? All right, boss. Let's send the kids to lunch. Now, guys, while we're waiting to show one little part of the episode, what you got to do this week, especially this Sunday, you have to go to bed early. Sleep, because without good sleep, you can't concentrate. All right? Found it? It says episode 1, level up. Yeah, yeah. All right, guys, if we don't find it, we'll show it another time. But guys, since this is our last chapter, I'll give you. Just bear with me. Mr. Romain, you found it? No, don't play the whole thing. Just play the end when Ramsey speaks to them. Because Ramsey can sometimes curse, and I don't want him to curse on everything, you know. He's a crazy guy. Fuck. Yeah, he's always. Yeah. Just show the last part of episode 1.
Royce, this dish is absolutely stunning. Welcome to Team Ramsey.
Thank you, chef.
Is that it? Or you passed it?
Oh my God, I'm on cloud 9 because they actually let.
Right, let's be honest. I think we can all agree there's some hits and there's some misses. But
That's him, Ruel.
I know I've tasted enough to start choosing my team to be mentored.
Yeah, Chef, I think we may want some of the same people here.
Okay, Naisha, first pick. Off we go.
Watch.
Gordon, since this is your brainchild, I believe you should get first pick.
Really?
I do. It's fair.
I'd love that. On the back of that tasting, there is a dish that, hands down, is somewhat surprising. They were dealt a dysfunctional card. My first pick on Team Ramsey is... My first pick on Team Ramsey is that processed meat. Ruel, go ahead.
Greater boy. Understand that. And right, he's killing it in the competition.
Congratulations. Appreciate it. Welcome to Team Ramsey. Thank you. Get ready to work.
I want to stream right
And he's won the first 2.
I want to pick up a phone and call my dad. And I just want to be like, yo, Dad, I got picked first. Pops, you would be proud.
Just to let you know, when he was here, his dad died. And his dad actually taught him to cook in Trinidad. So whenever he wins anything, what is your excuse? Guys, you have the technology. You have it. You have the teachers. You have the abilities. Be awesome. Lord, thank you so much for this day. Be with us now. In your name we pray. Amen. Freshmen, you may go first. 1251. Love you. You see why we didn't have a formal chapel, we had a chapel? See how God work? Buzz. Sophomores love you. You may go. Juniors and seniors, much love.